4 years ago, I launched my web design business and within 3 months was fully booked out with clients, booking my first projects at $3,700, $5,500, and $5,800. And every single one of these clients reached out to me after seeing my content on TikTok. And this was a completely new account. I didn't have a massive following and I had never created content before. And so in this video, I want to share with you the exact content that you can start creating now if you are also hoping to use your content to attract high ticket clients and not just web design clients. Now you could go back and stalk my videos from 4 years ago and try to copy exactly what I did, but of course the exact content that worked then isn't necessarily going to work today. And so instead, I'm going to give you 5 recent content examples from accounts that I think are absolutely killing it with their content. And I know this content works because these are all people that I've watched their content, and if I needed someone to help me, I would go to these people and I would happily pay for their expertise, knowing that they would not be the cheap option. And so I'm going to break down why these content ideas work and how you can adapt and remix your own version of these to turn your account into a magnet for your ideal client. And I've intentionally picked content ideas that are extremely low effort, that allow you to show off your expertise, but don't require a full production team and video editing skills to get started today. Anyone can make this content, even if you've never created content before. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. Back then, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just posting content about things that interested me and crossing my fingers that someone would see it and want to work with me. But looking back now, there are 2 main reasons why the content I was creating was so powerful. The first is that I was knowledgeable and passionate about the subject that I was talking about. I didn't have any real results or client work to show for it yet. I was just getting into web design and I was completely self-taught, but I was obsessed with doing a good job, learning everything I could about how to make a high converting website to become the best at what I was doing. I was really interested in high level brand strategy, storytelling, sales psychology, and copywriting techniques. And this is what I spent all my spare time obsessing over and learning about. I didn't have the client results to show for it yet, but I knew what I was talking about, and this came through in my content. And the second reason was the depth of the content that I was posting. If you want to attract higher budget clients that know the value of your work and value you for the expertise you bring that actually helps them get results, then you have to demonstrate this expertise in your content. The depth of your content and the depth of your expertise has to reflect the type of client that you want to work with. For example, if you want to be seen as a high-level copywriter, then you're not going to attract the right type of clients making content like this is why you need an email list. You want to attract people who already know they need an email list. They already know the value of your work. You don't have to convince them of that. They already know that they need a copywriter to help them, and so it's your job now to show off your knowledge and show them why you're the expert to help them with this. So you want to make a library of content basically showing off your high-level copywriting knowledge. This is how you get people to see you as the expert. You create content proving that you are. And so if you've seen any of my other videos, you will know that I am not at all interested in creating surface level content. And so my natural obsession with learning in-depth strategy behind these things and then sharing that with my audience meant that I attracted clients who also valued these things. And so I kind of accidentally managed to attract these clients that valued my work and were willing to pay for it. But hopefully this video will help you be more intentional with your content ideas so that you can focus on the right things to get results. So first up is case study content. This is the creator that I think does a really great job of establishing himself as the expert at what he does, which is branding and marketing. And the way that he does this is actually super simple and easy for anyone to do. His content formula is basically putting himself over images of big recognizable brands and then breaking down what techniques and strategy these brands are using that are so powerful. And so what this does are 2 things. First, it creates a mental connection between the creator and this large brand. It helps get people's attention because they recognize this brand, and then it starts to establish you as an authority. Even though these aren't brands that he's worked with, it gives the impression that he is capable of working with brands like this and taking on projects of this scale. And the second thing it does is give him an opportunity to show off his knowledge and his expertise. Other brands who see this and aspire to be like these big brands start to see you as someone with the knowledge and the expertise to help them get there. This type of video is more organic and casual when you're using a green screen effect like this, so you really don't need a fancy background or video setup, which makes this really easy to put together because all you really need to do is grab a half decent mic and you're good to go. Number 2 is portfolio content. So this is another example of how you can use big recognizable brands to grab people's attention and get them interested in your content. If you don't have clients or have no portfolio or examples of your work to show for it yet, this is exactly what you should be doing. Your portfolio or examples of your work should be very specific and curated to the exact type of clients that you want to work with. And so this is a perfect example of how you can do this. This is called spec work or a spec project. You pick a well-known brand that you would like to work with or that represents an industry or similar brands that you want to work with, and you create something to show off what you can do to get their attention and the attention of their competitors. So the example here is, what if Colgate were an organic brand? Now, it's highly unlikely that Colgate are going to hire this person based on this video, but what this video does is 3 things. Again, it creates a mental connection between you and this larger brand. It gets people's attention, gets people interested, especially when they have no idea who you are and don't care about you as a creator yet. Nobody really cares about you and a random portfolio project that you created, and so you're using the recognizability of this well-known brand to get people interested in your work. It also shows off what you can do, demonstrates your work and what you're capable of, and it catches the eye of other brands who like what you've done and need a similar project. So putting together a whole project like this for a video is actually fairly high effort, but a lower effort version of this would be using a screenshot or image of something this brand has done and then showing what you would do differently and why. For example, you could take a screenshot of their homepage and then explain how you would improve the headline and why these changes would improve their conversions. So number 3 is tools and hacks. This is another creator who uses the same green screen content formula to put himself over images of recognizable brands and break down what they're doing well. But another thing that you can also share are tools or techniques that you use with your own clients. So for example, in this video, he's sharing the website where he finds high quality original stock imagery. People love a tool or a hack, and so these pieces of content generally do really well. They're a little more surface level, and so they can really help to grow your audience and get more attention to your account. And at the same time, you're saying in the video, this is what I use with my own clients to get this result. And so it's an indirect way of establishing yourself as the expert. Number 4 is your founding story. This next piece of content is just one example of how you can share a little more about yourself in your content. People connect with people, especially when everyone is creating content and almost every niche is saturated. If you want to set yourself apart from other creators, just adding a tiny little bit more about your story, your why, your interests can be really powerful to become more memorable. So this video is a day in the life working on putting together his offer, and within this he mentions what his product is, what problem it solves for his customers, examples of results that he has got his customers, and a call to action to join or work with him. And all of this is mentioned very casually within the format of a day in the life, so you actually get to know a little more about this creator at the same time. You create more connection with him as a real person. And so this is definitely a sales video, but it really doesn't feel like it. And what I would do with your founding video is pin it to the top of your profile so that when other people watch your content and then go to check out your page, they immediately know a little more about you, why you do this, and how you can help them. I held a live workshop recently about building a personal brand and using content to grow your business, and this was one of the most commonly asked questions. How do I bring more of myself into my content? What does this actually look like? For example, there was a web developer who also wanted to make content and talk about being a parent and having a side hustle. And so creating a founding story like this is one of the ways that you can do this. Bring your story, why you built your business, and the reality of running your business into your content. And what this does is maybe someone is looking for a web developer and they find 2 different accounts. Both web developers, both experts posting very similar content, but this person is also a parent trying to build their side hustle. And so they see this video, they can relate to you, and it creates this point of connection. And so this is what sets you apart and why they choose to work with you over this other creator, which is why your founding story can be so powerful. And so last up is your client process. This last piece of content is from White and Salt. They're a branding agency for health, wellness, and fashion companies. And it's based basically walking through the exact process of what it's like to work with them. You can see how low effort this content is. They're literally just pointing a phone at their screen and walking you through the process. And what this does is answer a lot of questions that people will have around working with you and set the right expectations for new leads that might be interested in reaching out. When people see this, in this video, you've told them how much you charge, what's included in your service, and exactly what to expect from working with you, what problems this service solves, and what it helps your customer to achieve. And it's content like this that makes your actual sales calls a breeze, because when people reach out to you, they already know exactly what to expect and are ready to work with you. Now, this isn't always going to be your best performing content, but it is a great video to leave pinned at the top of your page for people who are really serious about reaching out to you. The main thing to remember here is that if someone watches your content, they like you, they trust you, but they have no idea what to do next, how to work with you, or how you can help them because your offers are confusing or you have no clear call to action, then all of this is a waste of time. So if you need help putting together this no-brainer offer and creating a sales page for this, then this video here will help you do just that.